Hello everybody, it's Adair Palmer here, and I am talking to you today about the 10 fatal mistakes that network marketers make when they're on Facebook. Let's just have the video going so you can see who I am, and it's lovely if you can join us here today to have a look at these top mistakes or fatal mistakes that network marketers make. And if you can't join us today, then you would have a copy of the recording. I'll be sending out a copy of the recording for you if you have registered to join today. So we're looking at about half an hour today, so it'll be a quick webinar. And I'll just introduce myself first if you haven't met me before. As I said, Adair Palmer. My background is in working with not-for-profits and in government as a management consultant and doing a lot with volunteer programs in both not-for-profits and in government. And I worked with not-for-profits recently, or as recently as the last few years, working with them, helping set up Facebook pages and looking at getting their presence on Facebook much higher so they could engage with their communities a lot better. And I moved from that into network marketing. I actually was doing network marketing while I was working with not-for-profits, a couple of not-for-profits actually, doing network marketing because I wanted to increase, have another source of income. Obviously, when you work with a not-for-profit, there is not a, I think they do think that you do it for love, but while I did do it for love and I really enjoy working with the not-for-profits and what they do is amazing stuff, it actually wasn't paying the bill. So I thought I'd become a network marketer. And I found a company that I really enjoyed their products, and I thought, well, let's just work look at how I can expand my business using Facebook and social media. Now, the company did actually provide some training in using social media for their products or for moving their products and for getting business partners. But I just want to finish, I'll go back to that in a minute, but I just want to finish that as a result of that, I set up some meetup groups because I wanted to network, and I got an opportunity to do hypnotherapy training because somebody wanted to advertise in my group, my meetup group, in return for some training in hypnotherapy. And of course I said yes and became a hypnotherapist. So I'm a trained hypnotherapy practitioner, and I'm also a NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, master practitioner of that as well. And I started that business working from home. It had a consulting room in my home, and now I practice online as well. But what I did with that was used Facebook quite successfully to attract clients into my hypnotherapy business. And so then other hypnotherapists that I'd met in the course of becoming a hypnotherapist, I had quite a wide network of fellow hypnotherapists, and they were saying, how did you get your clients? And that's why I just used my Facebook page. And so they said, can you show me? And of course I started showing them. So with that and the network marketing, and with working with not-for-profits using Facebook, I actually have learned a hell of a lot around using Facebook for business, and I can apply it in different areas. So I can apply it into the network marketing area, not-for-profit area, and also into the small business area, which is essentially what network marketing is. Now, in a previous webinar, I had done a bit of a network marketing, a bit of a sales funnel for network marketers. So that's outside of the scope of this webinar today, but I am happy to, if you want to have a copy of that, the webinar which shows about the sales funnel for network marketers. I've got a blog about it as well, so just let me know, just make a comment, even if it's underneath this video, which will be uploaded to YouTube a bit later, or you can message me on Facebook. It's Adair Palmer, just message me, or you can go to social media for small biz owners, it's BIZ owners, and message me there on Facebook, and I'll get those resources through to you. So that's how I came to be doing what it is that I'm doing in terms of looking at getting not-for-profit, network marketing. So I just had tiny little, so someone else has joined us and I just got a little bit distracted. So I'm back on track now. So that's how I came to be working with not-for-profits, network marketers and other small business owners around using Facebook for their businesses. One of the things that I noticed when I was, well, one of the things I did when I was started in network marketing, I actually was one of those things, I was a really spammy network marketer, and it was not because I was a bad person, but it was because I didn't know any better. And like I said before, the company that I was with gave me very, very good training on how to do network marketing on Facebook, but there was all around moving the product, but it wasn't a lot around how to manage yourself as a business owner on Facebook, and that's a whole different ball game. So I think what happens is that we get into a space where we are so keen for other people to hear about what we want to, the products or the services that we have to provide for them, that we do tend to come across as a bit spammy. I've also written a blog, it's on my business page in the notes section. It's called Are You a Dove or a Seagull? Now, I've coined that term, the seagull, because I've seen not just network marketers, but people in small businesses who just spam, who just go their business promotional sales posts. And in fact, I see not-for-profits do this as well. So network marketers shouldn't feel so, like it's only network marketers that this happens to, because it does happen. People just don't know any better. So it doesn't make you a bad person. What it does do is it means that there are things that perhaps we don't understand around how to go about doing things on Facebook and approaching people in the right way so that it's not seen as spammy. I've just noticed there's a bit of dark and light coming. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I think I'll just put my diva light on so I hope that's a bit better so that there's no sort of shadows on the face there. It's a bit, tried to get the screen and try as much white light as possible so we can get a good visual with the webinar, but sometimes it does get a little bit dark. Maybe there's somewhere behind a cloud or something. So for Adelaideans, how's your weather, hey? We went to the Santana and Doobie Brothers concert last night and it was freezing. I had to use all my NLP skills to pretend that it was a balmy 26 degrees and we weren't being rained on, snuggled up in our sheepskin. So anyway, back to it. I did write a sort of, it's not a blog, it's like a little fact or cheat sheet, if you like, because there was actually one person in particular who was a network marketer, but also a hypnotherapist, which I thought it was really interesting because we'd done some work together and about Facebook and her presence on Facebook, and she was very much still doing a heap of things that I thought were very, very seagully. So the seagull and the dove, the seagull is obviously somebody who's going to be sort of thinking around, there's a minimalist perspective, so that there's only a finite amount of resources, there's only a finite amount of things that you can do on Facebook, there's only a finite amount of people. Well, I guess there is, but there's like 1.89 billion people on Facebook. And even in South Australia, there's over 1 million people. And if you even wanted to reach a tiny percentage of those people, you would still be working your whole life and never be able to connect with every person that you possibly could. So I didn't think that having perhaps a minimalist or a finite resources or even like a poverty mentality towards this sort of thing it's not really all that helpful, because what that does is it makes, I believe it makes people display behaviours that are bordering on almost desperate. And I can say this because I've done it myself, but wasn't intended to be, and didn't make me a bad person. It just made me an uneducated network marketer. And I think it's really, I've seen some people do some amazing things on their network marketing, with their companies or with their businesses. And I've seen some people just grow their tribes or their customer base without, nobody knows what they do. They've just connected as people. So today I'm just going through, I've just written this little sheet which I'll pop up here. I've just printed it off. For once, I do have neatly typed notes, mostly my notes, actually I'll share with you, mostly my notes are like this, different colours and all scribbles, but this time it's neatly typed up. I did actually have, take it through to Fiverr, and I had Fiverr do some actually post-production formatting and making it pretty, but I can't find that copy, so I'm just doing the typed up one, which doesn't really matter. I'm happy to send a copy through to you. If you're looking for the recording of that, just let me know. You can say in the comments here, or like I said before, with YouTube, or contact me on Facebook and under Adair Palmer. Just let me know that you would like the copy of the 10 spammy things that people do and what you can do instead. So I'm just going to run through them, and you can have your own copy if you wish. Okay, one of the things that I notice that people do is sending multiple friend requests, especially without a personalised note. This is something that I talked with Theone Rusianos about on Friday. We did an interview in Anita Breer's Party Plan South Australia group, and Anita, I don't think she's able to join us today. I haven't sort of heard from her, but I understand that she's not real well, so hopefully she can join us. She was supposed to be co-hosting with me, but she's not at the moment able to join us, so she might be able to hook in a bit later. We'll see what happens there. So when we were talking about on the Friday, when we did the interview in the group, we talked about sending multiple friend requests, and one of the things with sending friend requests is it's a good thing to do. Now, Facebook does say that it's there for you to connect with people that you know, but it also recognises that people are going to send friend requests to people that they don't know for various reasons, and I think by and large they're okay with that. What happens, and I've had a Facebook slap for this back in the early days, is if you send friend requests to too many people and they don't respond, or they delete or ignore you, then Facebook are going to have a red flag, and they're going to go, this person seems a bit spammy. So the idea with this is to send, maybe if you've worked out who your avatar is, and that's something that we cover in the training that I do, but you need to be crystal clear on who your avatar is, and then I can show you where you find them on Facebook. You can send probably 5 to 10 friend requests a day, but if you're not getting at least 3 to 5 or 7 people accepting your friend request, then it's probably an idea you might be doing something slightly wrong, or you might be looking for the wrong people. They're not resonating with you. When you send a friend request, always, without exception, always send a note and just say, hey, I see we're both members of this group, or we're both like this page, or we've got friends in common, we have mutual friends, and I'd like to connect with you because whatever reason you want to connect. You don't have to say because I'm a network marketer and I want to sell you my product. That's probably a bit tacky, and I know you wouldn't do that, but something that's relevant to them. So you could say, we've got interests in common, or I like to connect with like-minded people, make it a bit generic. That sort of thing is okay. So when you're sending friend requests, if you send lots and lots of friend requests, do it over time, stagger it, and if you break it down into little chunks, you can do maybe 8 to 10 a day. Just do them over sort of several weeks. Try and build up the friends. If you've been to my training, you would know about Facebook, the concept of the house of Facebook, and how you can have up to 5,000 friends on your back veranda, which is obviously your friends list. So you can put all these people on your back veranda, and I would encourage you to have the right people on your back veranda. So the ones that fit your avatar, who are going to love what you have, and you want to be, they'll be very interested in what you have to say. So there's a whole theme, or there's a whole what do you call it? A purpose to packaging it like this. And when I talk about the house of Facebook, because it is, sometimes I say the face of housebook. If I do that, just remind me I'm saying it back to front. So there is purpose in what you're doing. You're not just randomly adding friends because because you can. So do it strategically, but don't send out multiple friend requests all at once. Now, sending group messages for salesy stuff. This is another one that people do, and they do it, and I have done it myself. Again, if you know of, I think you can send up to 100 people a group message. I've done it once, and then it was so, and then all I just saw was this mass exodus, because you can see when people leave the group. And I think I had a special going that I was really excited about, and let's face it, I was too lazy to send different, individual messages and personalize them and tailor them to the people that I was sending them to. And so if you're sending a group message for salesy stuff, then I just say don't do it, because it just does look lazy. And I'm quite happy to say that, because I've done it myself. And like I said, it was a bit embarrassing when I just got everybody leaving the group, and then I'm thinking, oh my God, well, that was wrong. So I learned that very, very fast. If there's, group messages are great for things that you're doing, maybe group collaboration and that, different things for group messages. Even the new rooms that we have now, the chat rooms that you could use for a whole heap of different stuff, but don't use them to sell, because it's really not about doing group sales. It's about connecting with individuals on a one-to-one level, and that's where the magic is. It's not in doing the group stuff. Posting your offer over and over and over again on your business page is going to get people there'll be no engagement. I've seen this happen so many times, and even if they're different offers. Now, I've done a blog called The Content Monster, and you will find it on my page, social media for small biz owners. There are dozens, literally dozens of different post types that you can put on your page. You don't have to do the same ones over and over again. In fact, I'm in a couple of leaders groups, and the leaders, the inner circles, they suggest that on average, if you're doing between 7 and 15 posts a week, then only 1 or 2 of them should be promotional or salesy. So what that means is, if you're doing 7 posts a week, then 1 is a sales post or a promo post. If you're doing 15, then you can have 2. So that's about the rule of thumb to work by when you are doing your posting on your business page. Just posting sales and promo posts on your page over and over again just looks tacky, and people don't come to Facebook to be sold to. People come to Facebook to be engaged, to be entertained. Yes, they want to be informed, but they don't want to be sold to. So having a business page with nothing on it except your product, service, and or affiliate offer. Now, I've seen several, one of the things that I did early when I started doing this was I looked at business pages. I looked at hundreds of them, because I wanted to know what made a good business page and what made a average business page and what made a, frankly, crap business page. And I found out just by looking at them, looking at pages that had high levels of engagement, looking at pages that had no levels of engagement, and saying, okay, well, what's the difference here? There were many, many more pages that had no engagement and were very poorly run than what there were exceptional the high level ones, and they were the exception to the rule, which is unfortunate. But then I've made it my mission to share as much information as I can with people so that they can change that if they choose, which is what I'm doing today. So having a business page with nothing on it except your product, service, or your affiliate offer is something that is, again, it's so unnecessary, because it does show that, one, that there's no person or personality coming through. So your business page is really, if you think of it as your shop window, you want to put your own personality into it as much as you possibly can. So if you've got a jar of night cream or magic cream as your profile picture, and on your cover picture you have the company name and some of the specials or a website to go to, people were just not going to go there. And if you've had an experience that's different to mine, I'd love to hear about it, because in all the time that I've been doing this, I really have not seen any success in people who set up their business pages that way, and then they go on to just promo and salesy posts as well. So you want to put yourself in there, you want to put your personality in there, put your picture in there, have a video of you, do live videos in your business page, because that gets things rolling, that gets people engaged, and that gets people talking and getting an understanding about who you are and what you do and your why, what is really important, because that's where people connect. That's the sweet spot. That's where people connect, and that's where people have a service from you, they buy a product from you, or they become a business partner if that's what you're looking for. So here's another one that I find that is really, really off-putting: using your personal page as a continuous sales page. Now, I actually personally know two people that do this, and I would strongly encourage, if you are looking at this, you know who you are, don't do it. By all means, sell on your page. By all means, your personal profile. Although Facebook say you've got business pages for that, and they probably would say don't sell on your personal profile. I can see there is absolutely nothing wrong in doing it, as long as it's in context. So I tweeted that I was running this webinar today, and of course my tweet went through to my page and my personal profile. So that was on my personal profile that I'm running a webinar at 1 o'clock today, and people know that. But then you would see on my post from last night, there's some crazy photos of myself and my hubby and my son when we were at the Santana concert. So freezing, of course, but using NLP to make out that we weren't freezing. But when we do this, it's like it's in context and it's in moderation. So if I've got a workshop coming up, or if there's something happening, if you're doing MLM that's a product based and you've got specials coming up, there might be Mother's Day specials, you want to let your people know. And again, if you've gone back to you're getting the right avatar, making sure your avatar is like nailed solid, your message is solid, you're looking for those people in exactly the right places on Facebook, and you're putting them onto your back veranda. Again, if you haven't heard of my concept, my signature concept of the House of Facebook, get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to send you out the blog that's got all that written in it, and it'll give you a really crystal clear idea about how to use Facebook and in its entirety as a powerful business tool. So where was I? Using your personal page as a continuous sales page. And if you've got the right people on your back veranda, when you do put stuff on there that is relevant to your business, they're going to want to see it. So you really are wanting to make sure that what you're putting on your personal profile is a mix. And again, I wouldn't put any more than one every. This has never been suggested, because when I'm in the inner circles, they always talk about your business page or your fan page, which is the same thing, by the way. Always, I would suggest every 7 or 8 posts, then you might want to put a sales or promotional post, but not really any more often, or if something special is coming up, then let people know. I have on occasion changed my cover picture if it's coming up to a workshop and I want to get people to be aware that my workshop's coming up. I put it onto my business page, and I also put a cover picture, change the cover picture on my personal profile. I do understand that Facebook are not that keen on people doing that, but I don't believe it's against the terms of use. So you can do it, but business pages are designed for that. So I wouldn't suggest that you do it all the time if you did it, but just change it up every so often if you've got something special happening. The other thing that I've noticed that people do is using their personal page as some sort of like ladder. So we participate in activities and programs in my group, which is social media Facebook in brackets for small biz owners. That group, we have a program called Super Saturday, and during Super Saturday what we do is, well, I put a post in the group, and then we like, comment and share. Like, everybody puts their pages, a link to their page in the comments thread below the post, and then we like, comment and share each other's pages or posts on different pages that we think are relevant, and we like to share. And we it's like a collaborative effort, so we all help each other get engagement and a bit more organic reach, because you won't get it on your own if you don't have people engaging on your page. It's like a self-licking ice cream. The more you get engagement, the more Facebook will show your posts to people, because they think people like your page. So I call it a bit of an artificial insemination, because we start this stuff out artificially. We do it using these types of programs. So for people in Adelaide who are watching this, we've got the social media for small biz owners, social media in brackets Facebook for small biz owners. You're welcome to join that group. There's one called Adelaide Suburbs Small Business Networking Group. It's run by myself and a guy called Steve Lawson, but he's Henry Lawson on Facebook, and Theone Rosianos. Now, Steve actually started the group in July last year, and we have a program called Monday Promo, where we do that every Monday, and people get a chance to like, comment and share on each other's business pages. It's a fantastic program, because what it does is it gets you to know people and business owners through commenting and liking and sharing on their business page. Really, I've done, I think, more business that way and attending offline network groups than any other way, because you really do get to know people, and they get to know you, because they have to visit your page if you're participating, and you also get the exposure, and you get higher levels of organic reach on your page because you are sending people there. What I suggest that you do, here's another tip, you participate in those groups. So there's another one called Women in Business Adelaide that you're welcome to join if you're a girl. If you're a guy, I'm sorry, it's women only, but you don't necessarily have to be in Adelaide. You can be anywhere. We've got people from all over Australia, in fact, some from right across the world, but it's based in Adelaide. So it's because I run the group from Adelaide, is predominantly for Adelaide women. But I'm not as strict with the criteria as Steve is with the Adelaide Suburbs Small Business Networking Group. So you're welcome to join that as well. And we've got a same program called Wednesday Hump Day. So you get 3 chances across the week, especially if you're in Adelaide and you're a woman, you get chances or opportunities across the week to participate in activities as programs that are actually going to help you lift the organic reach and engagement on your own page. When you do that, you can pin to the top of your page the thing that you want people to see. So you don't necessarily have to go and spam your page. You can put all sorts of interesting posts on your page. But what I do is, the moment I'm promoting my health checklist, so I say to people, can you go and make a comment on the pinned post. And if you want to, you can download your free copy of the health checklist. Now that gets people into my email list as well when they do that, and then I can start to build a relationship with them. So you can see it's the strategy that's sort of all woven in together to all of these different things that I do that help not being spammy, but also help with building my connections and my presence on Facebook. So the other thing that I was going to mention about that was when we do that, using what people do sometimes is just share pages back to their personal profile. And I've seen this happen, and that just looks yuck too. So don't share pages back to your personal profile en masse. What I usually do is I have a range of strategies that I do, and you can do this too if you've got a business page or a fan page. Share some posts that are relevant back to your business page, and then you can share some to your personal profile as well. So you can mix it up a bit. You don't have to throw them all onto your personal profile and advertise someone else's page for them on your profile. But if you're doing other posts as well, and again, it's a bit like when you're promoting your own page or your own services or products on your personal profile, you want to do it sparingly. So if you do participate in these programs, I keep saying games because it's so much fun. If you do participate in these programs, what you will need to do is think about maybe doing it over the course of a couple of days. So you might do 3. We generally get between 8 and 15 people participate in the programs. There's not usually too many more. So number one, you have to schedule some time out if you're planning on participating. And number two, I would suggest that you do it over a period of a couple of days and sort of maybe do a couple of pages and like, comment, share on them, and then go back and, you know, do it in the morning and then go back in the afternoon and then in the evening. And in the meantime, you're also doing posts on your own page and your own profile. So it's sort of spread out a little bit, and it just doesn't look like you've just done this one bulk spammy thing. Sometimes it's unavoidable, and I know that sometimes I can sit down and do the whole lot in a block, and I do end up with quite a few, but I try and avoid that where possible. But I think if you're only doing that and you're not putting up other personal posts or other posts that are relevant and interesting and engaging to other people, then you're doing yourself a major disservice. So joining groups and posting your offer, this is an what are we up to? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll be probably another 5 or 10 minutes. So we'll go for a little bit longer than half an hour, but definitely shorter than an hour, maybe 45 minutes, I think. So joining groups and posting your offer, your service or your product without adding value to the group before or after posting. Now, I'm a group owner and group admin of several groups, and I know this is one of the biggest bugbears of people who are in those positions on Facebook. So if you're a group owner or you are a group admin, you would fully understand that it is seen as really rude and seagull-y behaviour. What I suggest to do instead is to pick 1, 2 or 3, or not go any more than 3 groups, depending on what your overall strategy is. So if your strategy for being on Facebook is to get business partners for your network marketing business, then you might want to go into groups that are have interest areas that you have. Now, this is a bit hard to explain in 30 seconds or less because it's quite a long-winded process when we go through the avatar, and then we identify their interests and then identify your interests, and where those interests intersect, that's where you are going to be looking for your potential business partners or customers on Facebook. What I find is people go into groups like Work From Home Mums in Australia. They're all there for the same reason, and they just post. This is one of Anita's groups. They just post work from home opportunities, one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, and they don't actually add any value to the group, or they don't really engage or communicate. So there's most of them, the ones who are active and engaged, there's a few of them that do, but most of them just go in and say, hey, do you want to earn extra money and come and join my... But if everybody in that group is doing the same thing, then nobody's going to be listening to each other. So add value, get yourself known, be a thought leader, so interact. And this is really hard for some people, especially people with less confidence than others that feel like that what they have to say. And I think it's particularly true for some young mums who are staying at home and are looking for something extra to do. Maybe that's probably the wrong terminology, because with young kids you don't need anything extra to do. But the young mums who are looking for a way to earn an income or create an income from home while they can work around their kids, network marketing is brilliant for that. But I would suggest that that their confidence may be low in terms of getting the capacity or the feeling like they're able to make comments in groups or be able to say things that people resonate with and feel like that they're actually really adding value. And don't get me wrong, because you can add value and you will add value. It's just a matter of finding your voice and being confident enough to be able to do it. And I know a really cool chick who can help you with that. If you are one of those people, just look up Tony Everard and see, she might be able to help you with some confidence building in that respect. So it's TonyEverard. Is that right, Tony? Everard. Tony Everard. She's a master NLP practitioner, and we've worked together doing some webinars and some live presentations around Facebook Live video, getting people from dread to delight in using Facebook Live. And she also runs a group called Live Video Confidence for Business Owners. So check her out if you think you might need some help, because she's got some great resources there that will be able to help you if you don't have the confidence or don't feel like you have the confidence to go for it right now. Okay, posting the same posts in multiple groups. Now, this is something that you can also get put in Facebook jail for or get a Facebook slap for. It is so easy to copy and paste, and sometimes it's one of the things that you can do. Those for sale groups, I think you'd probably get away with it a little bit more if you've got a product or a special, and Facebook will, in fact, it will give you an opportunity to click on multiple groups at the same time and pop that post into maybe up to 50 groups, I believe. I haven't done it for a while, but I think around 50 groups you can actually, no, 20 groups that you can post in at the same time. So pick your groups wisely. If you do that too many times, Facebook will stop you from posting into groups. But if it's appropriate, and if you're selling some products in the buy, sell, swap groups, then that's probably appropriate. But if you're in groups where you're looking for like business groups and leadership groups on specific topics, there's a lot of groups on like empowering women, there's Smart Chicks, there's Entrepreneurs Abundance Mindset, there's Ultimate Business Support. These are some of the groups that I'm hooked into. If you did that in those groups, you would be booted out quick smart. People do this sort of thing, and it is really, really spammy. So make sure that if you're doing multiple posts into groups, make sure that it's totally appropriate and that you're posting in the buy, sell, swap ones. And also there might be some, it's a bit hard because you need to check out the description of the group, each group individually, to find out which ones that you can do that in. So before you just go and do multiple posts into groups, I would suggest that you take the time, you go over each group, you read the description, and ones that you aren't able to do that in, if that's what you're really keen to do, don't join them. You'll give yourself a headache later. Or you could get booted out of the groups. The other point 9 is joining groups and making inane or stupid comments on other people's posts. I'm really, really sorry that I have to say this, but there are people that will absolutely come out of the gate and go, you know, say things that they don't agree with different other people's opinions, or they think that they're like, if you just look at some of the more controversial posts, especially around the election time in the US, and some of the things, and even in groups that people were saying about the Clinton-Trump race to the election, and it was just, some of them you just go, oh my God, if they were business people, and some of them were, that you would just go, you would never do business with them. But it's because they let their emotions run wild. And I think, you know, it might be the same with the Port and Crows fans. I don't know. I'm not a football fan, but I just think, you know, just be careful what you're posting. And even if you don't agree with people's ideas, just respect their capacity or their right to have their own opinions. If it upsets you that much, just move on, because there's no point starting an argument about something to prove that you're right and they're wrong. I don't think I'm hoping that many of you wouldn't do that. In fact, I know the people here would not, today would not do that, but there are some people that I've seen do it. So if you have been one of those people in the past, don't do it in the future. And number 10, tagging multiple people in posts on your personal page, or on a personal profile, or even on your business page. Now, when I wrote this, you actually weren't able to tag people on your business page, but Facebook have since enabled that function, and now you can tag people on their personal, you can post on their personal timelines or their personal profiles if their settings allow it. And most people's settings do allow it. And you can post, you can tag people on business pages if their settings allow it. The way you do that is put a little @ symbol in front of their name, and you can either do that with using the capital letter of their name, or the @ symbol and the capital letter. Sometimes it won't tag without the @ symbol, but don't do multiple people. I'm not saying don't tag. I'm saying tag appropriately. So when you when people, it's like inviting people to your events. If you just invite everybody, Facebook gets annoyed with that, and they will just they'll scale back how many people you can invite to your events. So just know that tagging people in posts, multiple people in posts, Facebook, I think you can tag up to 100, but I wouldn't suggest that you do that. I'd suggest if you had a post that you know that there are maybe 20 people or 10 or 15 people would really appreciate seeing, tag them in it. Sometimes I just tag, you know, like my brothers, if it's a crazy zany post, and I think, well, you know, they'd be quite amused by this. So tag them in your post if you think that they would enjoy that post, or if it's something that you think. Sometimes, you know, I've tagged my daughter on vintage jewelry pages, or my sister on vintage clothing pages, because I know they love that stuff and they would appreciate being directed to it. But just do it where it's appropriate, but not where, you know, not just so that everybody would know about, you know, would just tagging people just for the sake of tagging, because that's a bit spammy. Okay, so that's what I have for the 10 spammy things, or the 10 fatal, the 10 fatal things that network marketers do that can be fatal for your business. It can get you shut down or locked out of Facebook. It can get you put in Facebook jail, get you a Facebook slap. But I've also given you some really good advice and some ideas about what to do instead. So I'm happy to take questions. If you do have any questions or comments, you are welcome to pop them in the question box, and I'll see if I can pick them up after. I did want to mention before we go that I've not just realised it's really rarely that I'm able to make a webinar go under an hour. Even my Friday Facebook fix that I do for half an hour, I struggle to keep that to half an hour, because I have so much knowledge about Facebook, and I love sharing it, because you haven't figured that out. So what I'm going to just share with you is I'm having a live workshop, face-to-face workshop on Saturday. I'm looking up here because my schedule's up here. Saturday, the 27th of May, and I'm running that in the northern suburbs of Adelaide. It's the venue. I'm still deciding where I'm going to be holding it. It may be at Elizabeth Park, where Tony and I went last week to see. It's a holistic wellness centre. They've got some great facilities there for running workshops. If I can organise a date there, or possibly at Mawson Lake somewhere. So I'll be letting people know about the venue as soon as I've got that confirmed. But at the moment, it's definitely the 27th of May. Really, really exciting stuff about this is I'm flying out to the US on the 13th of May, and I'll be there until the 24th, back on the 24th of May, and I will be doing a bringing all the latest and greatest, because I'm going to a conference in Orlando about social media, and I should be able to bring back all the latest and greatest. It's actually one of the top conferences for social media in the world that I'm going to. So I will have all the best bits and the best information for you when I come back. So that's happening on the week of between the 13th and 24th of May. I'll be back on the 24th. So this the workshop, face-to-face workshop, which is unlocking the Facebook code, that is on the 27th of May. That's a Saturday, from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. and I'll have some more details for that in Eventbrite soon. I do have also Facebook Code Breakers Bootcamp starting on the 29th of May, and that is a full 8-week program with weekly webinars and twice weekly live in the group, resources that you will get to go through the 10 steps to actually unlocking or breaking the Facebook code so that you can nail it on Facebook pretty much. So that's starting the 29th of May. There are the costs for the workshop, the live workshop is $67, but I am giving a special for the early bird special actually, that's until Saturday the 13th of May. Tickets are only $47. And for Code Breakers Bootcamp, it's $497, and the early bird for that is $397, again till the 13th of May. So on that note, I'm going to leave it. I'll put some more details around how you can book in below here when it's on YouTube, but also I'll be putting it onto my Facebook page, so you'll be able to book through there as well. So if there's no questions or comments, it's Adair Palmer, and I'm happy to bring to you the 10 fatal mistakes that network marketers make and how to avoid them. Bye for now.